going to be a very significant visit. India-UAE relationship is perhaps one of the most transformed relationships. It's a very special relationship which has been going from height to height. In the historical perspective, this is something extremely important. This talks about the social, cultural, economic connect between Bharat and the Gulf. If you go back to the first visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the UAE in 2015, it was then that the temple was announced. And today the temple is a reality. Wherever Indian diaspora is, they're always very keen to listen firsthand to Prime Minister Modi.
How do you see the visit of Indian Prime Minister to UAE? He would be here in just a few hours from now. If you can tell us about that as well.
It's going to be a very significant visit. So if you look at the last 9 to 10 years, the India-UAE relationship is perhaps one of the most transformed relationships, because this is a relationship which is actually guided, nourished, directed by the vision of our leaders, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, and the UAE President, His Highness Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed. And when you elevate a relationship to that level, it's very important for leaders to keep meeting each other. So it's not surprising that the forthcoming visit of Honorable Prime Minister would be his 7th visit to the UAE. If you look at just the last 8 months, this would be his 4th visit to the UAE. And in this period, His Highness Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed has visited India twice already. The last one was his visit to Ahmedabad as chief guest of Vibrant Gujarat. The speciality of this particular relationship also comes out from the fact that when India was chairing G20 last year, UAE was one of our special invitees. And when UAE was president of COP28 last year, India had the very special honor when Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi was the only Prime Minister, head of state, head of government, to actually speak at the ceremonial welcome plenary. So it's a very special relationship which has been going from height to height over the last 9, 10 years.
So if you can give us a sense of, it's just a few hours left, I think less than 48 hours when the Prime Minister would be here. How is the preparation going on for his visit?
Well, I think we're keeping our fingers crossed, but preparations are going on pretty well, both on the logistics front as well as on the substantive front. It is quite an elaborate visit if you look at it, because this visit will take Prime Minister to both Abu Dhabi as well as Dubai. He'll have bilateral meetings with the President, His Highness Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed, as well as with Vice President, ruler of Dubai, the Prime Minister, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid in Dubai. He will also be addressing at the World Government Summit in Dubai. He'll be addressing the Indian community in Abu Dhabi and also inaugurating the BAPS Hindu Mandir in Abu Dhabi. So it's a very elaborate visit in that sense. On the substantive side, you'll see once the visit starts that there are a lot of very significant documents which will be signed and exchanged, including some treaties, some agreements, some MOUs. A couple of them I can share with you. One is the bilateral investment treaty. Another very interesting one is an MOU on national archives, because that is something which will help us in further rediscovering our shared heritage, our shared history.
So how do you see the opening of this BAPS Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi as an achievement of cultural significance? And also, how significant is the temple opening in Abu Dhabi is?
I think in the historical perspective, this is something extremely important, because this talks about the social, cultural, economic connect between Bharat and the Gulf over the ages. Although there are many more temples in Dubai, in other parts of the UAE, but what is special about this temple is the scale at which it is happening. Also the fact that this is a temple which came out of the vision of the leadership. If you go back to the first visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the UAE in 2015, it was then that the temple was announced. And today the temple is a reality. In spite of very adverse time which we went through COVID, but nothing deterred the spirit of the building of the temple. And today it's a massive structure, it's a work of art. It is actually a symbol of what our leadership always talks about, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family. This is a temple, if you look at it, it's a temple which is also, if you look at each block of the temple, it's a work of love. It's a work of skill by thousands and thousands of Indian artisans. I used to visit the temple very often during the construction phase. Thousands of devotees in this country. Also, thousands of Indians, diaspora, which has been visiting here, visiting the temple during the construction phase, have actually put bricks using their own hands. So when the temple has become complete, there are thousands of, as you say, what is that word for seva, which shramdan. It involved all those things, and today it's there. I must also share with you that just a couple of weeks back, we had organized a preview of the temple for ambassadors and their spouses. The response was very heartening. Over 35 ambassadors and their spouses visited this stunning temple. These were ambassadors across countries, representing at least 5 faiths: Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam. And they were completely amazed that this work of art, this work of determination, this work which represents the collaboration between our two countries is now a reality.
So another highlight of Prime Minister Modi visit would be, I guess, his address to the Indian diaspora, the Alan Modi. I think it is going to be very bigger, if you can talk about that. And also the Diaspora Connect, the million expatriates who are in UAE. How do you think it's important to build ties between the two countries?
The UAE is home to about 3.5 million Indians, which is the largest number of Indian nationals anywhere in the world. Wherever Indian diaspora is, they're always very keen to listen firsthand to Prime Minister Modi. And we can just see their enthusiasm here, because when we opened the registrations for Ahlan Modi, we had to actually close the registration as soon as the mark touched 65,000, because we could not accommodate anymore. So people are so keen to listen about the Prime Minister's vision and his vision of Viksit Bharat, his vision of where India is going, what are the policy changes happening in India, the Amrit Kal, as we often talk about. So there's a lot of enthusiasm in the Indian community to listen to the leader.
And anything you would like to add on to this IIT Delhi Abu Dhabi project that is between the two countries?
IIT Delhi Abu Dhabi is again a very significant project, perhaps the first of its kind. This would be the first IIT campus ever in the Middle East. And it all came out of the vision document which was unveiled by our leaders in February 2022. It talked about setting up a campus of IIT here. And just about 8 months back, in July when Prime Minister was here, we signed an MOU to establish that campus here. And today it's a reality. About a week back, the first master's course has already commenced on sustainability and energy transition.
So just last question, how do you think this visit would enhance the bilateral relationship between the two countries? Because in 2015, Prime Minister Modi was the first Prime Minister of India to visit UAE in 34 years. How do you see the importance of this visit when it comes to bilateral relationship?
I think you've said it well. Prime Minister's visit in 2015 was the first visit by a Prime Minister after a gap of 34 years. And since then, the visit which is going to happen less than 48 hours from now would actually be his 7th visit. So this speaks of how accelerated our relations have been in the last 19 years. In 2017, we signed a comprehensive strategic partnership agreement. And I think in all dimensions, this relationship has grown very well. We signed the CEPA in 2022. Within less than 2 years of that, we are going to sign a bilateral investment treaty. And that will make the UAE the only country with which India has both a CEPA as well as a bilateral investment treaty. And then if you look at other areas like fintech, Just again, about 2 weeks back, the UAE launched its own Jeevan credit and debit card. And that card is entirely based on India's tried and tested, robust RuPay debit and credit card stack. Again, about 8 months back, we started the mechanism for settling trade in Indian rupees and dirhams. Now, these are very milestone things, IIT, for instance, which you spoke about. So there are so many areas in which we are working together, making our first leaps in these areas. SEPA was the first one, BIT, the combination, IIT Delhi, FinTech, so many areas. So it's a very unique relationship in that sense.